Market right now is, I guess you would say, consolidating. We did see a pretty decent pump these last couple days on the market. Market is still sitting roughly around the 1 point. It actually went up. The market cap was actually sitting, the last time we did our call, it was sitting at around 1.6 trillion. Now it's sitting right around, it's a trillion billion, right? Is that trillion or billion? That would be trillion, my bad, 1.9 trillion. It was down at 1.6, I think it was last week. So it's been moving up, right? It's been moving up. We see Bitcoin right now sitting around 43,000, 43.5. Ethereum was all the way up at, I think it was almost 32. Bitcoin was almost, I think Bitcoin cracked above 45. So, we're experiencing right now a push up. I think in these next couple of days, we'll probably see something, maybe a little retracement down. I would say the lowest I can really see it is right around that $38,000 level. I don't specifically see it going below 36. If it does, then we probably will continue down further, but I don't see that. I think 38,000 is a nice support level that it could come down to. Then we're going to start moving back upwards. We did, like I said, the last couple of weeks, guys, I said we've been looking for this $43,000, $44,000 level being broken. It did just that, right? It did just that. Now, I guess you would say our next level will be right around that $51,000, $52,000 level, right? I want to see that being broken. It's just an extra confirmation to continue back up in this bullish market. And we should start seeing highs being broken within, I guess you would say, a month or two, maybe even 3 months, could be longer. All right. So, right now, I think it's a good time to possibly start looking for these retracements once it starts going into the red, maybe 10% retracements, maybe 15, maybe 20, sometimes even 30% retracements. You're gonna maybe want to accumulate, especially now that we've broken this $43,000, $44,000 level. It's just giving me good vibes that we're going to continue up. So I do believe that, all the gaming tokens, if you guys haven't watched our last video, go check that out. I believe we could easily see 5, 10, 15, 20, even 30 X's on some of these, even just getting back up to its high. There was a couple of tokens that Pat came out with, that we came out together with, that we feel like is really, really good buy-ins. Back when it's in the red, guys, that's when you should be buying, right? Don't specifically, you see something up 30, 40%, don't get hyped, don't FOMO, right? It's going to retrace back down a little bit. Wait till it's in the red, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20%, whatever sits right with you. And then when the market's a little bit bloody, that's when you get in the market. That's when the whales are getting in. That's when the big players are getting in. That's when everyone's, taking their short-term profits, right? You guys know there's short-term traders in this market too, right? But this is a good time, especially right now, while everything's starting to move back upwards on that retracement, start looking to accumulate more assets. And like I said, this number was just at 1.6 trillion last week, right? Now it's at 1.9. So within a couple of days, within, 4 or 5 days, we've already gone up, almost $4 billion, right? $400 billion. So there's a lot more money coming in the market. Now you're going to see a lot of news. You're going to see a lot of FUD, but I want you guys to pay attention to what these coins are doing. I mean, the market doesn't lie. It moves in cycles, right? You go back and you look at Bitcoin when it did this last time, right? Had a really big retracement down to all the way from 64 all the way down to 30,000. Basically did the same thing. It cracked 69, cracked around 69,000, came back down to basically almost that same level, right? So if you look on a higher time frame, market structure is giving us bullish movement. So I'm still bullish on the market. Anyone that says they see fattest drop I see is nowhere below 38,000, in my opinion. But could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just giving you my personal opinion. The last time that I seen this, I was telling you, we want to see crack of 39,000, broke that. Want to see a crack of 58,000, broke that, right? I was calling the levels out and out and out. It's not to boast and brag, but I'm just telling you, I'm just getting used to the market and how it flows, and the market repeats itself, right? Look, higher time frames, you guys know how I am with, understanding how the market moves, technical analysis side of things. I can just see this. This is a perfect opportunity. If you didn't get in on the last bull run when it went up, cracked above, 64,000, if you didn't get on the last bull run from 31 all the way up to 69, now's your chance, right? Because it's going to go above 69 when it does, right? And I think that might be the last push before we maybe, start moving downward. So accumulating assets is not a bad idea right now. Maybe wait for it to come down a little bit more. That's completely up to you. But, always remember, if you got in at higher prices, cost average, right? Buy in. If it continues low, I'm pretty confident. And I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm pretty confident that this market is going to start moving upwards. All right. So, Pat, do you have anything else you wanted to add to the market before we move on to our sales, to our land sales today?
Nah, just be careful. You're gonna hear a lot of stuff up and down, up and down. Like I said, anybody's been watching for a while, you should be used to it by now. But like you said, it's when your buying opportunities are going to be when it's in the red, not when it's in the green. I mean, green's great to see, especially if you're sitting on it. But the buying opportunities, I know it just doesn't seem right because things are going down. You don't, in your head, you don't want to purchase something if you think it's going to continue to fall. But check them out. Jonah's he's pretty on with this stuff. I mean, he calls out the numbers pretty close. And like we said, it's just hard to gauge sometimes. There's just so much stuff that can change at any moment. But we're feeling confident. Like I said, we're going with this. And even when the market's down, this is where, like, in the meantime, we can pump on these NFTs. All right. So once you stack your NFTs, it's basically as they go up, these tokens go up all together, we'll be sitting pretty nice. But no, that's it. Let's hit these projects.
Awesome. Someone asked in the chat, what do we know about Russia getting into crypto? Honestly, 1 week they're talking about banning it, and the next week they're talking about, making it a legal tender. They're all over the
more
place.
Politics on this one,
right?
So not to cut you off, but what I believe they're talking about with so there's like a little conflict going on, Russia. I can't even think of the other country. That's pathetic. But basically, Joe Biden basically said that he was going to put restrictions on Russia if they do certain things, that kind of thing. So Russia basically kind of announced that we'll just go basically, because the world kind of goes off the US dollar. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I think I said this a couple months ago, because even me and my brother were talking, even gasoline, fuel, oil, that is such a big market that if they wanted to, so that certain countries couldn't control everything, if they decide to go to a current, a Bitcoin, I mean, you're talking a multi-trillion-dollar industry right there that would be pumping into this stuff. But this one is strictly about, I want to show, and it's great for what it does show. So it's showing where Biden's basically all right, we can restrict you with this. Putin's pulling the card that, well, if we go to Bitcoin, the US don't benefit off of this. And it just shows the power of Bitcoin. And I mean, it's look, like I said, before we were talking about El Salvador, now we're talking about Russia. And if you just saw, like I said, the US don't want to be too far behind. Well, I don't know if you noticed this week in the news, the US confiscated, I think it was multi-billions dollars worth of Bitcoin from a hack that happened in 2018. They just seized it. So, I mean, like I said, the US just with restrictions can accumulate plenty. You know what I mean? That's what we got to watch. Make sure that they'll say you broke a rule, try to confiscate your stuff. These people, whoever they accused, I don't know how that worked, but it was a huge hack, and they're basically confiscating what they hacked. But like I said, when we're talking now, Russia's one of the biggest in the world. Talking US is seizing it. Like I said, it's one thing to pay attention to. I don't see it going anywhere. The names are just getting bigger and bigger. They just need the price to go down so that they can catch up, because they are very far behind. They're years and years behind on this stuff. But that's it. Let's tell them about that land.
Bet. Let's get to it. So the first one is going to be Pavia. Pavia is going to be dropping tomorrow. Tomorrow for the whitelist, right? So they haven't announced when the public list or public sale is. I'm not sure if they have or not. Pat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But their whitelist is started, I think it was yesterday.
So they're not having, there is no public. You either get, so look, what you're about to say, that doesn't end, that ends tonight. The cutoff ends tonight at
tomorrow at 4 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so like as long as you get so that's how that's working. There is no public sale on this one. Only if you get selected, that's the only way you're getting a piece of land.
Yep. So basically, you'll have to put in your address. You have to put in your address on their whitelist. So if you go to their announcements, it's in their announcements and everything like that. And unfortunately, if you're in the US, you cannot participate. There are ways around that, but I'm not going to speak of that. If you want to get that, you can DM me about that. But you're able to get up to 9 per transaction, or maybe 9 per wallet. But basically they're going to come out tomorrow morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., somewhere around that time. Basically going to drop a link, either some type of Excel.
Pull that sheet up. I have it on my screen.
Yeah, I'll grab it up. You're either going to have to, put up your, you're going to put your address inside of a link. It's going to basically tell you if you're whitelisted. And then somewhere around, I think it's noontime, 17. So that's 5 p.m. UTC. Okay. So yep, that would be 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. You're going to be able to see if you're whitelisted, you're going to be able to mint 9 per transaction. All right. And it's not guaranteed, right? If you look at this little sheet right here, it's not guaranteed, right? You're going to be able to do it on the Pavia website. And you can get 9 plots max. So you can't get any more, and it's not guaranteed. So if you go for 9, you might get sent 4 lands and sent back the rest of your ADA, right? So it's not guaranteed, but you're going to want to get your whitelist in, and I'll drop that website. I think I'd actually drop the website in our Discord, and I'll drop it in here for anyone that doesn't have it. Go ahead and drop that in here real quick. Basically the rules are on here. There's going to be 40,000 plots of land, 80 ADA a piece, so that if you're going for exactly 9, which I highly recommend, it's going to be 720 ADA. ADA's down right now, so you might want to go grab your ADA if you are going to go grab this. Priority will be given to those wallet addresses that participated in the last land sale but were unsuccessful, right? And then registration is going to close at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then the whitelist sale commences at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard tomorrow. So tomorrow starts the sale for that. All you have to do is put your address in here and amount of lands that you want to go for. Click this I confirm. I have read and understood the above instructions, and then submit. Again, if you're in the US, you're not going to be able to get it, but you're going to have to hit me up about that if you want to know about that. Yes, you will have to have NAMI for this, right? NAMI, Yoroi, Daedalus, CC Vault. Those are the 4.
And we have a quick 5-minute video if you want to set up NAMI when we're done with this call. We have a 5-minute video we set up just on setting up that wallet. So you can check that out if you have any questions.
And let's kind of dive deep into Pavia for a couple minutes. It's one of the most successful projects. It's number 2 all time of the entire Cardano NFT collection. They've already brought in over 17 million Cardano of volume. Their floor price right now is 448. So this price is going to go down. I ended up buying my pot of Pavia around 200 ADA, and then I sold it for 750 ADA when the price was starting to go down. I could have sold it at 900, but I thought it was going to continue. But when they announced about the sale, about having a plot of land, you didn't have to be whitelisted. Anyone can be whitelisted. Then everyone started kind of dumping, because the price, when it drops, when everything is sold out, the price will drop, right? Because there's more volume, there's going to be more supply. So in return, the price is going to go lower, right? I can say we're probably going to expect between 250 and 300 floor right off bat. So that's still a good come up. I mean, if you were to put in 720 ADA, right, and you sold all your plots of land for 250 ADA, right, that's 2250, right, 2,250 ADA, right? So that right there that's a 3x, right, for all of your plans, right? And that's a good come up. Right, that's a really good come up. You can hold them if you have an estate. If you have an estate, if you get an estate, It's going to sell for a lot more. You know, I did multiple wallets, so I'm just going to let you guys know now who's here. If I do get multiple wallets whitelisted, I will sell my whitelist for at least 100 ADA. That's what I'm going to be charging. And I'm just being honest. I did 20 wallets, so I don't know if I'm even going to get one. Right? I don't even know if I'm going to get one. But I'm going to try my best. If it is, all I'm going to charge is 100 ADA, and you got it. All right. And then kind of getting into the roadmap, I kind of was looking at the roadmap not too long ago. I guess you would say a couple of days ago. They're going to be coming out with cross-chain interoperability. So they might look to partner with Solana, Ethereum, Theta. They're going to be looking to, you know, be a part of, I would assume Ethereum will be the first one, right? It's the biggest network for NFTs right now. I would assume since Pavia is getting big and becoming bigger and a lot of people are starting to talk about it, I would assume they would go for that. They're going to be bringing up an update sometime in these, I would say the first or second quarter of the year. They're going to be talking about token updates. And I think after the sale, you might want to look and see what the price of Pavia coin is, maybe accumulate some more. Honestly, I sold my Pavia coins right now because they were an airdrop. I want to buy the land if I can get the land, and then I'm going to sell some of my plots, reaccumulate my Pavia tokens. Pavia token takes off, right? I think it's been up to 0.25 ADA, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. They're going to be able to, you're going to have, they're going to bring in some type of building tool to start building on your land. I know they've been talking about building houses, building things on your land. That's going to be pretty dope. They're going to be doing, if you hold at least one plot of land, for each plot of land, or maybe per wallet, they haven't really gone into every single detail. They're going to be airdropping you their characters, or a little bit of their characters. It's called POV. They're called POVs. They're like, I guess you would call animals. They don't like to call them animals. They call them POVs. So they're going to be giving an airdrop for holding the land. Let's see. They're going to be working on user-generated content at scale and load testing and multiplier environment. Let's see. What else stood out to me? PCAs onto land parcels at scale. So the houses, the shops, all these different things you're going to be start being able to put on your land. I'm not sure if they're going to do airdrops. I'm not sure if they're going to do sales. But most of the time it would probably be a sale, I would think. They're going to be doing testing. So they're just going to be moving towards being able to use the land for their utility that they plan on coming out with, right? So you're going to be able to play games in this metaverse. You're going to be able to build a shop, build homes. It's basically going to be virtual real estate, guys. That's exactly what it is. Just like Decentraland, just like Sandbox, they're doing the same thing. All right, you buy a plot of land on Sandbox, you buy the little PCAs, you buy the homes, you buy the characters, you buy a fountain, you buy all these different things for your land, you build it up. Guess what? That plot of land increases in value. So where, you might not get the sale right off bat, where if you don't get the whitelist sale, or you're not even whitelisted and you're not able to mint, that's cool. As soon as you see that floor and you kind of are comfortable with paying maybe 200, 250, 300 ADA, I would not hesitate, because in the future, guys, by the end of this year, if not by the end of next year, maybe 3-5 years from now, you're not going to see this price be below anything below probably 4,000 or 5,000 ADA, right? And ADA is going to be expensive. I'm very confident with this project, right? Because they've brought in over 17 million, ADA of volume. They're number 2 on the list, and they just came out last year, the end of last year. And the number 1 came out, I think, middle of last year. So just pay attention, guys. This is going to be the real deal. This is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, metaverse on Cardano, in my opinion. Just like Decentraland, just like Sandbox, just like NFT Worlds, right? The next one I'm going to be talking about is the Lazy Llamas. So if you guys don't know what Lazy Llamas is, Lazy Llamas has been out. I think they came out either beginning of this year or end of last year. But they actually have been delivering for a while. They've brought in almost a million ADA of volume. You know, the highest price has already been 8,000. They've been holding, I think they minted around, it was between 50 or 60 ADA, and they're sitting at 378. Let's see when they came out. It says they came out, okay, beginning of December, middle of December. All right, so they've been out for a couple months, and they've steadily, I mean, if you see their price value, steadily moving up, right? All the way down at 30 ADA, right? And now, I mean, if you would have bought in back in December, you'd be up a 10x, right? You'd be up a 10x. So, you know, I feel like this is a really good project. And what they're doing is they're dropping land as well, right? They're going to be dropping land as well. I've been very active in their Discord, kind of just asking questions. I ended up being able to get whitelisted, but they're going to be dropping 20,000 plots of land, 36 ADA per NFT, and you're going to be able to mint 27 per transaction. All right, 27 per transaction. The whitelist sale is 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. The public sale is 2 hours later at 11 a.m. Eastern. And having 9 plots of land, just like Pavia, you can get an estate, right? You have a possibility of getting an estate when you mint at least 9. All right. Check the chat real quick. Yeah, I got you. I'll drop it in our chat just so we don't lose it in here. But you can mint up to 27, right? So if you mint multiples of 9, you're going to be able to get that 27, right? Or the 1 estate, 2 estate, or 3 estate. If I personally don't get any Pavia, what I'm going to do is I'm going for all 27. I'm going for all 27. It's only 36 ADA, right? 36 ADA. If you remember anything around that price, I think the lowest price we ever seen was 20, was Boss Cats, right? And their land looks like this. Pretty dope land. Not 100% sure if they've integrated anything just yet, but I assume they're going to have some type of game, or you're going to be able to build things. They just had their token airdrop for anyone that held a lazy llama. But these come out tomorrow, right? These come out tomorrow. For public, which is most of you here, it's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern, and then you can mint up to 27 per transaction. You mint multiples of 9, you have a possibility of getting an estate. An estate is probably going to be, I would say, nothing below, depending on what the floor price is per plot after they sell out. I don't think you're going to probably see an estate anything below 500 ADA, which is a good deal, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, those are the 2 sales that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to pass this back to Pat. There's another sale on Sunday. If you guys have any questions, I will get to them at the end of this. I will drop the Discord. Pat, did you drop that in there for them?
Yep.
Cool. But yeah, I'm going to drop the link for that on in our Discord as soon as Pat hops on here and goes over what he goes over. Those are 2 huge plots, guys, 2 huge plot sales that I believe that will pop off. If it gets anywhere close to where, you know, the price is right now, apparently the price, I was just looking on the Discord, is 420. We're going to see, if we see that, that's a 10x, right? Per plot. That's a 10x per plot. Imagine if you have 27 plots of land. That's crazy, right? But Pavia is the main one I'm going to be aiming for. If I can get that one, I won't go for as much as for the lazy llamas. But if I don't get the Pavia, I'm going all out for these. I'm going to flip them, and then I'm going to go all in on the next one that Pat's going to talk about. So appreciate you guys for being here. I'm going to pass this over to Pat. And then someone asks, how will we know if we made it on the Pavia whitelist? So 4 a.m. or around 4 or 5 a.m. Eastern Standard. You're going to put your address in the whitelist form that they drop in their Discord. Just make sure you're on their Discord. Go paste your address in there, and then you'll see if you're whitelisted or not. It'll tell you or not. All right. But we'll keep you guys updated. I'm going to be up all night. I just know that for sure. I'm not missing this. It's probably the biggest opportunity that we're going to have all year to be able to get land for 80 ADA. I mean, that's just a come up to me personally. So I'm going to pass this over to Pat. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let's get it.
Yeah. So look, also don't worry about rushing for the Pavia mint. You do not have to be there the second this thing drops. The way they're going to work that, because they know the network's messed up, is if it does, if you're whitelisted, you have time to do this. It's not like you can really miss out. I think they're going to run this almost like an entire week. So we should be good with that. Like, where did it say? I'll post like the little link for where I'm reading all this off of. It's right on their website, but we have you don't have to be there right for that min on that. You're either, if you're whitelisted, you're good to go. And then like Jonas said, one thing you want to consider, especially since we got like land drop after land drop after land drop, if you go after the max amount, like for example, today, or when we had that with the chips, what me and Jen were talking about, one of the guys ended up getting one, but he got it early. And what we were trying to like kind of explain to him is when they came out, the earlier you get them, like if like I know I went after him the same time as this guy. He got his like hours before me. The floor at the time when he said that he had his, when he announced his in the Discord, was at like 300 or 400. Right now the floor is at like 100, because like Jonas said, the more they come out, the price will drop a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just, that's just the nature of it. Then that's when it starts, you get rid of all the paper hands and it starts going up. So with these, like if you go for 9 and you get an estate, you have to decide whether, I mean, you just hit a score. But if you get like 9, like me personally, if I get 9 pieces of land, say with Pavia, I'm without a question selling like 4 or 5 of them. I don't know if I'll sell all 4 or 5 right on the same exact time. I might stagger the prices a little just in case the floor does rise during that time or something like that. But I am 100% going to get some of mine back and then just roll it into another project. So like if you list early, so like that's like as soon as you get it in your wallet, if you do get it quick, you know what I mean? Like if the floor is already, like I didn't receive my board until the following day, my chip for it. The floor was already down. So for me, I'm just going to hold it for a second and hope the floor goes back up a little bit, which it already did a little. But if you get it early, check the floor. Like if, like he said, if you're sitting at like a 5 to 10x, you might want to sell and grab that, unless you're sitting on where you just want to hold. That's up to you. But we have been trying to flip a lot more. I know even me, like I've been flipping a lot more than I usually do. And then so the next one is going to be with the Boss Cats. Oh, actually, real quick on Pavia. So anybody that's been following us also that went after Cardano for speed, they actually just announced that all those cars and the souped up cars and all, you'll be able to they're going to be integrated with Pavia. So if you have like a Lambo, if you have whatever, if you own that for the racing game, you can also use that, I believe, for your avatar in Pavia. So they said they are good with Pavia now. They did announce that this week. And then we have Boss Cats. So the Boss Cats, their land is, the way they're going to do that is the snapshot, I believe, starts today at some point. So they're doing like a continuous snapshot where you had to have certain qualifications that we already posted about. And they're doing a continuous snapshot for the next, all the way up until the 13th. So what that means is they're just, if anybody, like sometimes they'll say the snapshot's going to be at midnight tonight, say, and then as soon as it hits that snapshot, people will start selling. Well, what they're doing is they're telling them it's going to be a 3-day snapshot, and anytime they're going to multiple times take snapshots. And if anybody relists their stuff or anything like that, they lose their whitelist. So that's why they're not sure how many is going to be available for the public on that. So the way they're going to do it is on the 13th, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to give whitelist about a day and a half, I believe. So it's not like a hurry up and rush and mint just because of the network. So the 13th, like midday, they're going to announce, they haven't came out the exact time. They're going to announce who's on the whitelist, what you can get, like that kind of thing. And then what they're going to do is the remainders will be done on the 15th, which is Tuesday. I don't have a time yet. They have not announced a time yet. I've been on the Discord. Unless they have announced it, like since we've started, there's not a time out yet. But the public won't be until Tuesday. So that being said, with the Pavia and these other land drops, you're going to have time, even if you're like not sure what to go after. This is a much better situation than all this dropping on the same day. So you can possibly go for that Pavia, which you're going to be able to, like you said, go after 9. With the Boss Cats, I think you can only go 2 at a time, or it might even be 2 per wallet. So if you want more than that, you're going to have to put more in. Those are going to be 60. They're 68 a piece, and Pavia is what, 88 a piece. So the prices are going up a little bit on the Cardano NFTs, but I mean, that's not too bad. Like I said, both of these projects, even the llamas, they've been cranking out some really good numbers. But like I said, Pavia, Boss Cat, you're talking top like 3 projects. And Boss Cats is a new one. So those two are coming up. Another thing I wanted to show you guys, let me share my screen real quick. This was pretty cool. So real quick, so you see these, I'm just going to show you these guys real quick. They got all different cars, right? These are, you're going to be what you're going to be able to drive in Pavia if you have, if you end up purchasing one of these ranging anywhere from 58 on up right now. There's like a demo of their game. They do a little drag racing for anybody that saw that. The other thing I wanted to show you. So Boss Cats, they hit a record today. Or was it today? 20 hours ago. Yeah, so let's say today. It's today or yesterday. But they hit a record. Check this out. They sold, that is a Cardano record. It's the most expensive NFT ever sold on Cardano. So like we saw what Ethereum's pulling out, multi-million, stuff like that. But to see numbers like this now coming to Cardano, that's huge. Nobody has announced who's bought that, so we don't know who the owner of it is. Hopefully it's some like big name celeb that can pull some stuff over this way. But that being said, this is like, this will probably be one of the top projects. Pavi is going to probably be one of the top projects. Like we're going to, while these drops are out, like he said, these are probably, we don't know what the future is going to bring with new projects, but when it comes to like a second round of drops or something like that, like Jonas said, these are probably some of the top ones that are going to be this year. And we're only in February. So, I mean, like these are going to be big. And they're going to have all kinds of utility. Like you're going to get coins with anything with Boss Cats. There's going to be tokens. They're going to, every one of these like metaverses and all will have their own tokens. And by holding stuff, you usually get airdrops. Like he said, by holding the land with Pavia, the first round, everybody got tokens off of it. Now holding land, now you're going to get NFTs off of it. So, I mean, like there is a good thing with holding. But you need, like, as you can see how quick stuff goes up and down. That's why it's like, it's important to take profits. You know what I mean? Like if you want to, like I said, if you're sitting, if you're like a multi-millionaire, you just want to like, I'm buying some stuff, I want to put it away, whatever, cool. But if you're trying to just like start with a certain amount of money and try to see how big you can get that, something like that, you want to steadily do some flips. I mean, at least that's what we do. Like you said, we're not financial advisors, but I know when it comes to tokens and all, I'm horrible. I hold, I don't flip a lot. I accumulate and accumulate and accumulate, and that burnt me before. You know what I mean? Like I could have probably quadrupled my portfolio just by flipping, especially back in 17. Like it definitely got me. So now with NFTs, I'm making it a habit to, when I get my hands on the ability to mint multiples, I go after that with full intentions to try to sell. You know what I mean? Part of that to get my game, everything back. That way I'm playing with their money and I can go right after another project. But these are big numbers. And then the other thing, so if anybody, where was it? I know we haven't been talking much about Solana, but we have used Phantom Wallet in the past. This has been out now for like a week. They've announced it 2 weeks, but Phantom is, I meant to bring this up before, they do finally have a mobile app. So which is cool with that is you're going to be able to go at least after like NFTs when you're on the go. Nami still that isn't available. So with Cardano, you still have to use like the Yoroi, which is a little bit, it's not as fast. So like if Nami goes mobile, it'll be a lot easier. Anybody that's used Phantom, that is, even though Solana goes and the NFTs are tough to pull off, and at least in my opinion on Solana, Solana is one of the fastest, if not the fastest transactions I've ever seen. Like they're almost, when their network's good, it's instantaneous pretty much. Like the second you hit that button, by the time you click on your other screen, it's already in your wallet. So we've never really had too many issues with that part of it. The only issue we had is Solana has so many like bad NFT projects with rug pulls and all, but they're supposedly integrating Ethereum also. So the app will probably be big. They have talked about them coming out with a coin. So not saying that it's any kind of like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this app. And even if it's just a $5-10 transaction, even though I've used the one on the desktop, I'm probably going to download the mobile, just play with it for a second in case they do an airdrop of tokens. Who knows, it might qualify you for some kind of little bonus, something like that. Because if you notice, anytime something new comes out and they drop tokens, it's either for like NFTs, it's for holders, And when it's like for platforms, it's people for either use it or stake with them. So like I said, I haven't read anything about any kind of airdrop with it, but if you've been on Solana, if you have one on there, all you have to do is pretty much go on there, use the swap it for a second. Their fees are like cheaper than Cardano's. They're like pennies. And then just swap it back to your other asset if you want, but just use their swap back and forth a couple times. Play around with the app. Like I said, if it works with Ethereum, it's going to be cool because you're going to be able to use one wallet, link into multiple, same kind of like concept as MetaMask. There's going to have one eventually where we're just going to tap into one wallet and it'll be everything. But in the meantime, as you can see, everything's starting to grow. So that's cool. That is it on my end. Let's see. Oh, so one more thing I want to say. So like where he just said prices of POV are at like 400 now. Just yesterday, they were at, I think, like 700. Anytime a mint's coming close, especially a big mint like this, you will see prices go down. Because like Jonas said exactly what he did with like his tokens. People are going to take that asset they were given or that they got at a really good price. They're going to sell it now with full intentions to actually just go buy more POV. Like I would almost bet the floor is dropping. All the money that is sold that was in that volume is going to get poured right back into the metaverse, into Pavia. You know what I mean? Because like if one price you're getting now for 450, that's 5 pieces of land. You're trading 5 for 1. So that's why a lot of the other time I'm going to let you know right now, especially with like the US, it's February in the next like month and a half. Once that tax season gets close to that deadline. So like once we hit April to April 15th, I'm gonna tell you now, you're going to see some red in the market. Same reason. People had gains, and all those gains that they accumulated last year, they got to pay taxes on, and they're not going to dig in their pocket. They're just going to go sell some of the crypto that they gained, and they're going to pay it with that. So like big drops, you'll notice that same project usually go down. And like I said, come tax season, you're going to see the whole market go down. It does every single year though. It doesn't usually last too long, but you can pretty much probably check any like end of March to middle of April, and you would definitely see like a little bit of a correction at that time.